All right, ladies and gentlemen out there, I just wanted to say welcome to my new page. This is Miguel Talks Sports. If you know me personally, you know that sports has always been one of my biggest passions. So this is my very first video of hopefully many in this page where I'll be talking about a lot of different topics, a lot of different things relating to sports, but more so a lot, as far as business, from a sports business and marketing and things like that. Because that's one of my passions. I hope to one day be a sports franchise owner. So it's been a lifelong dream of mine ever since I was a kid. Now, anyway, sin más preámbulo, without further ado, the first thing I want to talk about for this video, now that the Knicks have recently been eliminated from the Eastern Conference Finals, eliminated from the playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I'm not surprised about. The Pacers definitely had, they were ready. They were more ready. They have a better, squad. They were built better. They were coached better. They have more pieces. Now, the first thing that I wanted to say, it's crazy how I'm hearing all these Giannis rumors, Giannis to the Knicks rumors. Crazy thing, I was literally having this conversation with my siblings not too long ago, probably about a month ago. At the time of recording this video, I said, no, matter of fact, it was before that. It was when Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers. And I was saying, look, you got to understand, at the end of the day, what a lot of people don't get is sports, it's a business. Professional sports, the NBA, it's a business. It's all about globalization. It's all about profit. It's all about marketing. Now, you have someone like Luka Doncic, who is on pace to possibly even break LeBron James's all-time scoring record whenever he decides to retire, hopefully soon, because I don't see why he's still playing. But anyway, that's aside from the point. I said, LA is a big market. You need a caliber type player like him in LA. It's the same way why Shohei Ohtani in MLB, who's the greatest player in Major League Baseball right now, plays for the Dodgers, and Aaron Judge plays for the Yankees. You gotta have that. New York and LA has to have big name markets. I would like to see one day Connor McDavid in the NHL and Austin Matthews play for the Rangers and the Kings. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. And even with MLS, with the Red Bulls and the Galaxy, you got to have some kind of Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, something of that nature. Football don't really need that as much because football is just that powerful. But anyway, what I was saying, I said, now that you see Doncic playing for the Lakers, I would not be surprised. I will even look for the receipts to prove it. I said I would not be surprised if you see Giannis going to the Knicks, because he's said that before. He loves playing in MSG. He's built for that type of market. He's a larger-than-life type of character. He has that persona, that personality. I think he would fit perfectly for the Knicks. I literally texted my brother and said, yo, and he was like, yo, like, what would they do with Cat? I said, trade Cat. Trade him for Cat. And now you hear all this talk about that. And I was like, look, Giannis is just a better player. He's just going to elevate them. You know what I'm saying? He plays better defense. You know what I'm saying? I said it won't even stop there. I won't even be surprised. You heard this here first. I wouldn't even be surprised if someone like Jokic, Nikola Jokic, gets moved to the Clippers, because I don't really see the Nuggets going anywhere. And someone like Joel Embiid, who everyone seems to forget about. I know he's been hurt. I know he gets hurt a lot. But y'all forget how much of a dominant force he is, how elite of a player he is. I mean, the dude was scoring like 30+ a game for, 3, 4, 5, whatever seasons. And I think he still got a lot in the tank. He's the same age as Giannis, man. He just not as healthy as him. And I said, and I told my brother, I said, wouldn't be surprised if Embiid gets traded to the Nets, because you have to have big name global stars in markets like New York and LA. That's just how the game is played. That's how the cookie crumbles. That's just how the business is. That's how you keep the business booming. You know what I'm saying? You look at the valuations for MLB, MLS, NBA, NFL, NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, MLS. New York and LA are always in the top 2, top 3, top 4 as far as valuation. It's just the brand, it's just the marketing. The Knicks ain't won shit in like 50 years, but it's New York, man. It's the bright lights. It's Madison Square, man. It's Times Square. It's the Statue of Liberty. It's Fifth Avenue. You know what I mean? You got to have stars in these type of markets, you know. And that's what I was telling him. I said, look, I wouldn't even be surprised. You have to have the big names in the big markets. You know, now there's all this talk as far as the NBA Finals. You know, they're saying, you know, it's not going to have any ratings. You know, oh, this, that, yada, yada, because it's OKC and Indianapolis. I mean, these are two small cities. Like, you know, Oklahoma City, the metro area, probably got like 1,500,000. Indianapolis, somewhere around 2 million and some change. Small markets, and people are like, oh, you know, you don't know ball. Like, these are two good teams. You know, they're well deserving. Congratulations to both squads, but you know, as far as from a marketing standpoint, that's the world that we live in. It's visualization. It's storylines. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a storyline. These two small teams, markets, or whatever. That's why some people aren't gonna really be tuned into it. And yeah, it's more likely like the casuals, but like diehard fans, like, you gotta give SGA his due. You gotta give you know, and the rest of them, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, all of them, you gotta give them credit where it's due. You gotta give Tyrese Halliburton. I've actually met him before. Tyrese Halliburton or Pascal Siakam, you gotta give them credit where it's due. They you know, they deserved it, they earned it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, it's just some people are just not going to tune in for that. I will, you know what I mean? It's definitely going to be a good matchup. You know, I'm a Knicks fan, obviously. You know, the Pacers eliminated the Knicks, but it's still a good team. You know, it is what it is. But it's definitely going to be intriguing. I hope, you know, I'm pretty sure the Thunder are going to win. I hope after they win, Adam Silver finally puts the Seattle Supersonics back in Seattle where they belong and where they deserve, and it's been long overdue. It's been way too long. Y'all been saying this for years that y'all gonna bring back the Sonics, and it's just all talk. First it's, oh, we gotta wait for the CBA. Then it's, oh, we gotta wait for this. Then we gotta wait for that. It's like, bro, just bring them back already, man. Like, they got the arena ready and waiting. Y'all let the Seattle Kraken get in that damn arena before the Supersonics did. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, you know, like I was saying, I really do hope Giannis joins the Knicks. I think it'd be a good look. Hopefully they find a way to bring DiVincenzo back and really, really unite the Nova Knicks and really make it count. They're not the Nova Knicks without all four of them there. You know what I mean? They're just not the Nova Knicks without all of them there. But anyway, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, sports it's a business, man. It's you got to have the big names in the big markets, man. That's just how it works, man. That's how you generate money, you know. And like I said, you know, it's storylines, man. Like, yeah, you know, I get it as far as Paul George, you know what I mean? Like, they're basically calling like the Paul George finals, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for him, neither one of these teams would have been in the finals, you know, and all the trades. And it's just crazy. He left these two markets to try to, you know, win a chip. All he did was help someone else, you know what I'm saying? If y'all know, basically, he left Indiana, was traded for Sabonis and I forgot who else, but anyway, Sabonis ended up getting traded to Sacramento for Tyrese Halliburton, and look who's in the finals. And then he also, when he left OKC, he was traded for SGA, who was actually drafted by the Clippers. A lot of people don't know that, and now look at SGA now. But anyway, let me know your thoughts, what y'all think. You know, like I said, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm also a Celtics fan. I rep Boston and New York, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know, I'm from both places, but I still, you know, New York is still home, always will be. And I just hope that, you know, the Knicks can bring it home one day, because New York is slacking with these championships, man. You know, other than, you know, the Liberty and NYCFC, shout out to them. But everybody else, man, they got to get on their A game, man. Losing too many opportunities. They've been getting close, but close ain't enough, man.